Hi there, everyone. I'm Marina Prior, and I am very excited to be doing Backstage Banter today. I first worked with MTC doing the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. That's hard to say. And gosh, I think it was about 2005, 4. I can't quite remember. Directed by the gorgeous Simon Phillips. Then after that, I did The Hypocrite, which was directed by Peter Evans, and it was an adaptation of Moliere's Tartuffe. And after that, I did Jumpy, a wonderful play with the brilliant Jane Turner and directed by Pamela Rabe. And then after that, the last one I did was Hay Fever by Noel Coward, and it was directed by Lee Lewis, and it was an utter joy. So I have been given some questions here from audience members, and I'm fascinated to know what I'm going to say. I've got no idea, so let's find out. I grew up in an arts loving home. My mum and dad were both amateur Gilbert and Sullivan performers, and I always lived in a house that was full of music. And I guess my road into theatre was through music. I was always a singer. I always wanted to sing and act. I went to Melbourne Uni after school and I studied music and English, and I was at uni when a group of friends and myself turned up for an open audition that was advertised in the newspaper. That's how long ago it was, for the Pirates of Penzance by Gilbert and Sullivan, but at the Victorian State Opera then, and went along and ended up getting the lead role, which basically threw me in the deep end. So that's how I came to be doing what I'm doing 36 years later. I guess it would actually have to be that very first audition, because I literally had never stepped onto a professional stage before in my life. I'd done uni productions and amateur productions, and I was a busker in Melbourne's Bourke Street Mall. That was my part-time job as a uni student. And so the romance of walking on to the Princess Theatre stage, then unrenovated all those years ago, was just amazing to someone like me who just dreamed about being on stage and performing. And it was incredibly exciting and unbelievable and surreal, actually. And it basically just sort of changed my entire life in a matter of moments. So I guess that's the one that's indelibly printed into my mind. There's been a few, actually. I've made a few terrible clangers and mistakes and wrong lines and, wrong entrances and all that sort of thing in my time. But I would say probably the most sort of humorous and memorable one would be one in Phantom of the Opera. I was playing the role of Christine, who starts off the evening, the show, as a member of the ballet chorus, and then within about 6 bars of music, her whole life is transformed and she becomes the diva of the Paris Opera House. Of course, your life can transform in 6 bars of music in a musical. And so it's an on-stage change where my ballet skirt that I'm wearing with a corset is ripped off. I'm being masked by people standing in front of me, and it is replaced with a huge, heavy, bejeweled gala skirt that is befitting the prima donna, the diva of the Paris Opera House. And on this particular night, there was a girl behind me that was on hook duty. She had to do up the hook of the big, heavy gala skirt. And she was very nervous. It was her first night, and she fumbled and fumbled. and then she panicked and fled, not having done up the hook. And so my beautiful big diva skirt just fell to the ground, and I was left in front of 1,500 people wearing not very much. I have to say though, I've never sung better in my life or faster. So I don't really wish I could forget it, but it was pretty excruciating at the time, I can tell you. It's kind of unfair. It's like saying who's your favourite child to a mother, but one of the greatest joys of my career has been playing Dolly Levi in Hello Dolly. Such an iconic role, such a beautifully written, strong role for a middle-aged woman, which doesn't always come along that often, where she's actually the protagonist in the story. And I got to work opposite my marvellous husband, Marina Prior, who's also very familiar, I'm sure, to MTC audience members. And that was an utter joy. Working as a comic duo opposite each other was just fantastic, and one that I will always remember. Probably the other one would be Judith Bliss, actually, in Hay Fever, because that's another role written for a mature woman, and that role is absolutely kaleidoscopic and beautiful. I love it. I loved doing both of those things. My dream role that I haven't played would be Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd. Why? It's just so brilliantly written. The music by Stephen Sondheim is thrilling and humorous and dark and romantic and passionate and everything you could possibly want it to be, or everything you could possibly fit into one show. And Mrs. Lovett is comedic, wily, and dark as well, and she becomes darker and darker as the show goes on. And so it just takes it challenges you in terms of your journey as an actor, and the music is just nothing short of thrilling. So that is one that I would love to do. There's so many people I would love to work with, but I guess a local person would be, I have been directed by Pamela Rabe, but I hold her in such high esteem as an actor. She is so multifaceted. Her range is extraordinary. Her command, her stagecraft, her voice, everything about her is very admirable. And I've worked with her when she's directed me, but I would really love to work with her on stage as a fellow actor. I feel that, you know, you're only ever often as good as the people that you are working with, and I love the privilege in this job of surrounding myself by brilliant people and learning from them, because they push you to be better at what you do. So yeah, I would love to work with Pamela. She's amazing. What's my favourite accent to do? I hope you can tell that I like talking with an Irish accent. If not, and that I'm feeling dismally, but I had the opportunity to work in a play called The Harp on the Willow, which was about an Irish singer called Mary O'Hara. It's a beautiful play, and I got to talk like that. And my family, they're Irish and Scottish as well, but I'm not very good at Scottish accents. Actually, now I'm turning into an English person. I'm out of touch, I'm out of practice. And the other type of accent that I've done quite a bit of is that New York kind of accent, like that. When I did Guys and Dolls, I had to talk like that. There's been a few times I've had to do this sort of accent, more of a Bronx style. And I really like that as well. Anyway, I love doing accents, actually. I find that one of the most fun parts of doing what we do. Okay, so my superpower would be on this, apart from wishing that I was brilliant in everything all the time, my superpower as an actor that I need is actually not to go up. And for those of you who don't know, in theatre terms, going up means laughing on stage. It's awful. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, I have no control over it. It's a form of hysteria, and it happens to me when something goes drastically wrong that is undeniably hilarious, that just jolts me out of character, and I'm back being Marina, laughing at whatever's happening, and it's sort of delicious torture. It's terrible and it's wonderful. It's a bit like kind of laughing in church when you're a kid. Go into the industry holding on to the joy and the childlike fun of playing and loving what you do. Don't lose sight of the joy of being an actor. It's like play, and sometimes I think people can become jaded, and they can become cynical, and it becomes too much like work. Hold on to the joy that you had when you first decided that you wanted to be an actor, or that first excitement of doing a school play and realizing that that's what you wanted to do. And also something that was told to me a long time ago, which is a great piece of advice, is leave your ego at the door when you go into rehearsal, and be prepared to make an utter fool of yourself, because I think when you push into that non-comfort zone, that's when you start to do brave and exciting work. I look forward to seeing you when we can get back to the theatre, and I really hope that is as soon as possible, because heavens knows we need it. We need to tell stories, we need to create magic, we need to watch magic, and we need to experience theatre as a visceral thing, which is what it's meant to be. So goodbye, and thank you for having me.